I'm Melanie.
It's New Year's Eve, and I'm sitting alone in my beach house in Montauk. The house is quiet, save for the rhythmic sound of the Atlantic waves outside my window. I've just checked my accounts, and my savings are at an all-time high. I've booked a first-class two-week trip to Kyoto in March, a celebration I've long postponed. As I sit here, I'm reminded of how I got to this point. It all started on a Tuesday morning during a meeting. My phone pinged with a VRBO listing alert for my beach house at 247 Dune Road. I clicked through, and there it was, a beautifully presented listing by my mother, Helen. Helen had a knack for photography. The photos she took of the infinity pool at sunset, the master bedroom bathed in morning light, and the chef's kitchen with bowls of lemons and fresh flowers were stunning. The listing said it was a luxury Montauk beachfront estate, renting for $8,500 per week, with 14 weeks already booked from June to August. A quick calculation told me she was looking at around $95,000 in rental income for my property. My family has always been a bit overbearing. My father, Robert, is a traditionalist who believes family should always come first, sometimes at the expense of personal boundaries. Helen, on the other hand, is a social butterfly who loves to show off and make money in any way she can. I bought this beach house with the advance from my first book, a best-selling technical manual on software architecture, along with 3 years of saved royalties. When I told my family about it over dinner, Helen said it was a nice investment, and Robert suggested I get professional property management advice. My brother, Jake, joked that we'd all be spending summers there. The first summer, they showed up unannounced for 2 weeks in July. I was in the middle of writing my second book, using the ocean waves as inspiration for a chapter on distributed systems. But they treated me like a servant, asking me to run errands and make arrangements. When I mentioned I had a manuscript deadline, Robert told me I could write anywhere, and Helen said I was being antisocial. The second summer, they came for a month without asking. I was in the middle of a crucial deadline, so I had to rent a hotel room in town. Helen thought I was being too sensitive. Last summer, I decided to spend July and August in a writing residency in Vermont. When I returned in September, the house smelled like strangers. There were different shampoos in the bathrooms, new linens, and a guest book filled with thanks to Helen. Looking at the VRBO listing, I realized Helen hadn't just been using my house. She'd been making money off it. She'd been telling her friends she was helping me manage my property, while suggesting to relatives that I wasn't fit to own it. I remembered the gambler's fallacy I'd studied for my first book. I'd been hoping that one day, my family would respect my boundaries and recognize my success, but it was a rigged game. I reached out to my old acquaintance, Lily, who worked at VRBO. We'd stayed in touch since my wedding, where she'd given a toast about finding sanctuary in beautiful places. I sent her an email reporting the fraud, attaching documents proving my ownership. Lily was horrified and immediately took action. By 10 a.m., my phone was buzzing non-stop with calls from Helen, Robert, and a text from Jake asking what I'd done. I silenced my phone and went on with my work. The documentation from VRBO showed that Helen had been running a fraudulent rental business for 37 months across 3 properties, including mine and 2 of my distant cousins. My lawyer, Grace, informed me that there was potential criminal liability, but I decided on a civil suit to stop her and get restitution. The lawsuit took 4 months. We gathered evidence, and my cousins, who'd also been victims, joined the case. In December, we reached a settlement. Helen had to pay back the guests, compensate me and my cousins, and was permanently barred from my Montauk property. I changed the locks, installed a new alarm system, and hired a strict property management company. This Christmas, I spent it alone in the house, enjoying the peace and quiet. The VRBO listing is now gone, and I've finally learned the difference between family obligation and property rights. I've set boundaries, and my life is finally mine. The account of emotional debt is closed, and I'm the sole name on the deed, ready to embrace a new chapter.